All right. Are we ready?
We're ready. Get us into the world, Andy.
All right, here we go. Hold on, Hold on, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real fast.
Are you ready?
That's a joke. That's a joke. Let's do this. All right. That's a joke. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first adventure of the Blue Ridge Adventurer'S Guild.
Yeah.
I am excited. Okay, let's just get right into it. Guys, our adventure starts in the forest outside the town of Cinder in the Blue Mountains. As we open the scene, we are at the Shattered Skull. So, there's a group of nefarious characters camping in the woods outside the Shattered Skull. The Shattered Skull is a 20-foot tall, broken piece of stone. It's in the shape of a skull with a huge split down the middle. The top part of the skull has been blown and blasted out. The skull itself is burned around the top as if an enormous amount of heat and force descended upon this stone statue in the past, blasting it to pieces. And that is where your party has chosen to camp. And as we begin our adventure, we are in a cool morning in the mountains as your group circles around the campfire for warmth until the sun rises to light and warm your day. Let's go ahead and meet our friends. Let's start with Severe.
All right, hey. Name's Sphere. Deep gnome, but most people just think I'm a goblin, and honestly, it's not really worth the time of day to correct them anymore. So I just let people think what they think, and I know my truths, and that's what I live by. But, God, it's so fucking cold.
Okay.
And you guys got any coffee we can make or something?
No, I don't.
Across the fire, a high elf leans in for warmth, rubbing her hands together. Amari, introduce yourself, please.
My name is Amari, and really, all you need to know is that I am devoted to Anubis, god of death. Write that down. It is Anubis, god of death. And he is wonderful. And honestly, I can go on all day about him, but I just really don't think any of you are really worthy of hearing about him. But, I mean, I really just keep mostly to myself. I enact his wishes, which is to just involve myself with death as much as possible. That's how I see him. That's how we communicate. And really, I love death.
Standing about 30 feet away from the fire, looking out from the hilltop on which he stands over the Blue Parkway, we see a shifter, and he has with him a it's almost like a kaleidoscope, and this shifter calls it his normie collider, because when he looks through it, he sees fantastic beings, fantastic images, he sees equipment, he sees towns, he sees magical places as he looks and gazes upon it. And now the shifter stands and stares down to where he sees through the normie collider these mechanical beasts traveling at great rates of speed along a different blue parkway. It's a gray parkway. It's a smooth parkway. It's not the dust and the rock and the stone that he sees when he lowers the normie collider. Scott, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Scarf, champion of my clan. I was raised runt of the litter, but I have learned how to be tough and how to be strong. And one day, I will fight those great mechanical beasts that I see in the distance, and I will cleave them in two with my blade, for I will be one of the strongest champions known in Cinder.
And as the shifter slides his normie collider back into his bag and rejoins his friends at the fire, they begin to discuss their plans for the day.
You got any coffee?
I don't need coffee. I am woken by the sun.
Yeah, sure, whatever. No one ever has coffee anymore.
It's bad.
Exercise will give you energy. Scarf begins with doing push-ups.
You know, maybe some meditation or really recentering yourself will help you to.
You two are really unsufferable sometimes, you know that?
Same for you.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, did you see, are we getting close? Did you see anything? You were standing out there forever.
Hang on. 27, 28, 29, 30. I've looked out across the land, and I have seen great beasts made of machine, traveling at speeds that we could not run at.
So you didn't see anything then?
Beyond that, no.
Okay, all right. So we still don't exactly know where we're going. We're still. I mean, you said you could find us with your fucking doohickey thing, and so far we just found a rock.
A very, very wonderful rock. I really like the aesthetic of this right now. So.
This is a very impressive rock. 20 feet tall, burned to the top, vines climbing up the side of the skull. It truly is an impressive structure that you found.
I could live here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
I could decorate the walls with the trophies of my enemies.
I didn't invite you. Just me. I only want to live here.
I was implying if I had lived here instead of...
Well, I started it first. I claimed it. I live here first.
We're called dibs.
Ah, Christ. All right. Okay, if you're going to do something, I guess just do it yourself. All right. So I'm going to walk over to where Scarf was standing a second ago, and I'm trying to figure out, like, do we know which direction we're supposed to go? Where we're going?
Well, you do have some pretty good landmarks. So the shattered skull is, I mean, obviously it is, I mean, it's 20 feet tall. It is a known landmark. You know what I mean? Like people use that to guide. And also as you look down, you look across a road called the Blue Parkway that merchants use to travel, and they travel along the Blue Mountains. And this is it's a scenic roadway. It is a high roadway. It curves up through the mountains. It's often blocked by snow, but it does take you along cities that are up in the Blue Mountains, and it lets you move along the ridge line, which is probably your best route for transit. So yeah, you've got a pretty good idea of where you are.
Okay, and so like as mercenaries, like all three of us have probably been through here a couple of times. Like, is it safe to assume that? Yeah,
as long as your mercenary band has been working in the Blue Mountains, which they have, then you would definitely know this. This is obviously a common landmark. You as a mercenary band, this is not the worst place to stake out a passing caravan. For example, if you were going to look for some passing merchants, maybe grab some hostages, things like that, this would be a pretty good place to be. The only downside to it is because of the obvious shattered skull, it's pretty well known. This is a fairly high trafficked area.
Okay. So what Where are we going? What are we trying to do right now? Or do we have an objective? Or are we just kind of camping out in the woods right now?
So at this point, you guys are camping out in the woods. You're sort of between work, and you're outside the town of Cinder, which is a growing town. It's again, so you're in a pretty well-known area. The town of Cinder is a growing area. There's often conflict there. It's not a super developed. Kind of think of like a frontier town. So you have a lot of people sort of growing. There's a lot of people who come to Cinder and to the Blue Mountains to sort of live their own life. And as a result, they don't necessarily like to involve authorities. And so you guys pretty commonly pick up work as local. I don't want to call you constables. That's way too positive.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we
some
prefer
people
formal,
have a neighbor problem. They don't want to involve the sheriff. Your group may likely get involved.
Okay, so I guess very much Wild West, Wild Blue Ridge vibes.
Yeah, from this area specifically, yes. This is a prosperous area. There have been a number of discoveries in the Blue Mountains, especially recently. There have been these earthquakes. The mountains have shaken a number of times in the last few months in ways that they haven't before. And these tremors seem to be getting larger. They're irregular in how often they happen. But what has happened is, as the mountains have shaken, well-known caverns and caves and cellars and dungeons have collapsed. They've been sealed off. There's a lot of work for Muscle just to reopen pathways. At the same time that a lot of known under mountain properties have been made inaccessible. A variety of unknown properties have emerged. Catacombs and passageways that haven't been walked in hundreds and hundreds of years. Open up, cracks in the earth lead down to underground dwellings that no one has set foot in for thousands of years. The potential to find gold, treasure, magical items, family fortunes that were lost are now re-emerging. There's almost a gold rush to find the reopened secrets of the Blue Mountain. And so the spirit of optimism in Cinder is enormous. And you guys, you were here first. You were already working. This is your turf. And as adventurers flow into the area, you feel a bit of resentment. But you know that you know the area better than anyone else. And this is your turf. You feel that you could do very well if you just got the right break.
Just because I don't want to go back empty-handed, do I see any like carriages coming or anything, or is the road empty?
The road's fairly empty. It's early in the day. You expect traffic to pick up later on.
Okay. So I'm going to go back, walk over. Yeah, I checked. I didn't see any gray machines.
Too fast for your eyes. Only the eyes of me, the mighty, can see them.
So, listen, guys. We try to get some work. I know, full disclosure, I don't particularly like you guys, but you're really good at what you do, and I feel like that we can make a lot of money. So, I don't know. Do you guys have any ideas on how we can do that?
Have you ever... It's been a really long time since we've done a bit of a toll road, if you know what I mean. Maybe
the old toll road,
take advantage of all the new people coming in because they've never traveled this road probably, and just ask them for some gold and we'll let them through. And if they don't offer it up, we'll ask them for slightly less money. And if they are too poor, we'll just kill them.
Yeah, I mean, I love me a good toll road.
Yeah.
My blade thirsts for combat.
I think we got to think bigger. You know, like there's just lots of stuff happening. There's lots of unknowns. I don't know. Maybe this. Go ahead.
Roll me perception checks all the way around.
All right. Perception. Where are you? That's going to be a dirty 21 for Sphere.
So Amari is just really distracted by her idea of the toll. She rolled a 6. And she's not paying attention.
Yeah, Scarf is... You said perception, right? I got... also rolled a 6.
Okay, cool.
So Scarf is not paying attention.
As Severe is explaining his idea and thinking about how he needs to go bigger, and he kind of looks up at you two, who and Scarf, you've sort of moved into the warmth of the fire, and so you guys are in sort of the traditional 3-person triangle around the fire, and it just happens, Severe, as you look up there, you see motion in the forest just over their shoulder. But it's nothing you can latch onto, and you look, and then when you look again, there's nothing that you can see. But there was just out of your peripheral vision, something moved, but you didn't hear any crackles. It wasn't a squirrel. It wasn't any little woodland creature that would make any noise. It was silent, completely silent. But you haven't lived this long as a dark, deep gnome without trusting your instincts.
Hey, you guys keep thinking, but don't hurt yourselves or anything. I'm just gonna go check something out.
Would you like some help?
No, God, no! Please don't. Please, just stay there.
Thank God.
And I'm going to I'm not gonna walk straight towards the noise.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk in like almost like a 90-degree angle to the noise.
Okay.
And just try to. I'm guessing. Are we in the woods? Are we like a small? I'm guessing we're like a small clearing under this rock sort of thing.
That's exactly right. Yeah, there's a clearing around this rock, and obviously people camp here and use it as a landmark, and so you really don't have a lot of undergrowth or underbrush or anything like that around this rock. But very quickly you get into primary forest. These are not brambles, gotcha. But you quickly move out into a pine forest because you're up high, and then the forest darkens within probably about 20 to 30 yards. You start to move into more established forest.
Before I even get that far, all right, as soon as I feel like I'm able to, I want to try and get some cover and hide. I don't know what I'm hiding from, but I just want to start doing my little creep thing. Yeah, okay, cool. So roll me a stealth check. Okay. And Sphere gets stealth checks with advantage. Let's go. That's going to be a dirty 24. And then I want to double back towards where I heard the noise. Yep, totally. So you kind of walk out to the first real stand of trees that has substance, and you just disappear into it. And again, your friends, Scarf and Amari, seem fairly content just to sit and warm their hands by the fire. You don't hear any motion, anything. You might be completely overreacting, but you want to be sure. So you circle around to where you thought you saw motion. And when you get there, again, you're not seeing anything. All right, there's nothing obvious. There's nothing standing out. There's no sound. There's no motion. There's no nothing. But you are certain that you saw. You can feel it. And so, do me a favor and roll me another perception check if you don't mind. Perception. Not as good. That's a 9. Yeah. So you were just standing there, and you're like, you're certain you saw something. Just certain of it. And it is just not there. I swear. All right, my last impulse as a character and as a player is I'm going to, just to double check, I'm going to kind of look around. Because you said I'm next to the Shattered Skull, right? Yeah. You've kind of crept at this point. You've kind of come back around. And the Shattered Skull kind of finishes your arc of moving through the forest. Okay, I'm going to kind of look around and I'm going to start climbing up and see if I can get to the top of the Shattered Skull and just see if, A, if anything's up there, or B, if nothing's up there, if I can see any movement amongst the forest below.
All right, cool. So so as you start to climb the top of the shattered skull. Now this is a 20-foot tall structure. I'm going to need you to roll me an athletics check to see if you can really get purchase and get up here. Gnomes are not known for their scaling prowess.
Is there any way I could justify using acrobatics for this?
Yeah, if you wanted to go up through the central crack in the skull, I would let you kind of roll and tumble and wedge away.
Yeah, like one of those things where you like do that going up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah. Where you're pinning against the walls as you kind of rotate your body and move up.
Yeah, he'll do one of those instead of trying to like climb up with a vine or something.
Sure. Yeah. You're using the crack to give yourself some purchase and let you use your acrobatics.
All right, that's going to be 19 total.
Okay, cool. So you fairly easily navigate. This is kind of, think of it more as like really refined rock climbing. You know what I mean? Than just straight up muscling yourself up. And so you are able to sort of climb your way up there. And you get about 2/3 of the way up the skull before you reach the part that's just jagged fragments of rock, where the top of the skull was just shattered and burned out centuries ago, right? And so you climb up to the top, and as you get up there, you find these broken, scarred runes, and you find the remnants of a stone that, like a flat stone that once sat atop it. And your idea, honestly, is as you look at this and you kind of look at this odd flat stone was on top, you have a pretty good idea that at one point in time, this was a stone altar, and that was probably the purchase of a point of the shattered skull was the altar that was on top. And obviously, as the skull was shattered, the altar has kind of fallen down into the crack. And so you do make your way up to the top. It's fairly jagged. It's burred. There is an altar up there. You don't find anything of any value. It doesn't look like there's been anybody in there. Okay. And so you do kind of turn and you look around and you sort of scan the woods and you look back where in the direction that you came from. And again, roll me a perception check.
Yeah.
I know, I'm just pinging.
I wish I was better at these.
But again, like you're focused on this area.
That's going to be a natural 20, my sir.
Oh, sweet. All right, cool. So because you have climbed up to the top and you look down at one of the trees, when you look at it, and only because of this angle, when you were down on the ground and you were looking straight at the tree, it was invisible. But as you look down from above, you see that there is a almost like a sheet on one of the trees. Right? Like because you look down, it's almost like a teepee. So you can actually see a central sort of tubular body, and you can see now that these are like wings that are out and they are wrapped around the tree. And the mimicry of this thing is amazing. I mean, it is invisible against the tree, but because you're looking down on it at an odd angle, you can see this body. And so that's what you see. And you feel this great sense of pride because you knew you saw something.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
You're good.
Have you ever seen a moth land like on a rock or on a tree and
just
like,
blend in instantly?
That's what you're looking at. And you're looking at it from the angle that you can see the body. You can see above the mimicry kind of down into the wingspan. And that's the only reason you're able to see this.
Yeah. As someone who takes pride in their stealth, like Sphere definitely is respects the work and is like good craftsmanship, but not as good as me. How far below is this person? I'm 20 feet up. This person, you said it's in a tree?
It is against a tree. It is like flat against the trunk of the tree. And so you're like 20 feet up, and it's probably it's probably about 5 feet in height and kind of wrapped around the main part of the tree at ground level.
Okay. I'm just gonna like take a pebble or something, and I'm gonna kind of just toss it over the edge at them.
Yeah,
and then just to no, not at the thing, at Scarf and Amari to get their attention.
Okay, cool. Scarf and Amari, roll me a perception check here to see if you're paying attention enough to get this subtle signal.
Scarf is also cooking just rats that he has in his pouch over the open fire and eating them.
Absolutely vile.
I got a dirty 10.
I got a 13.
They continue to cook rats and to try not to vomit at the rats being cooked.
Really, Amari, you should eat.
No, I'm above this.
You need protein to grow stronger.
No, you don't understand. Because of my biology, I don't need to eat that much, let alone vermin. I refuse.
Well, if you won't eat, I will have your share.
I am fine with that.
And you will go hungry.
I'm not going to go hungry. I'll be fine.
We shall see.
Nope.
Sphere, to your dismay, at this point, you see the creature flutter and jump forward about 3 trees. And in the blink of an eye, it has wrapped itself around a different tree and again is completely invisible. And it is moving steadily toward Scarf and Amari.
Okay.
Not steadily like marching, but like it flicked.
It's making its
and
way.
All of a sudden, yeah, exactly. All of a sudden, it was 3 trees closer to Scarf and Amari, and again invisible from their perspective.
Yeah, I'm looking over the edge, looking at them, looking back to the mother. And I'm like, ugh, those two call themselves professionals. Ugh.
I never once claimed to be a professional.
I'm on top of something. I'm not talking to you. I'm going to take out my light crossbow, and I'm not trying to shoot it as much as I'm trying to pin its wing to a tree and try to just pierce its wing and stick it to a tree.
All right, cool. So you are, from your vantage point, you've got a great sniping spot. You bring out your light crossbow. You take aim on the creature that seems to have no idea that you're up there because you successfully stealthed. The reason you didn't see it, you went behind it as you came around to the skull, and your quick acrobatic climb inside the rocks really didn't do anything to rouse its attention. And so it is completely unaware that you have this high vantage point. So you are in a perfect position to take a shot at this moth-like creature that is wrapped around the tree. And so roll me a ranged attack, and let's see how you do.
Since I'm in quote-unquote the perfect sniping spot, do I have advantage for high ground? And I'm super stealthy?
Okay. Because you were in a perfect spot, and I have said that the moth creature has no idea that you were there, I am going to let you take all the time in the world and use the jagged edge of the top of the skull as a stabilizer. So I am going, and you're trying to hit the wing, which is a fairly large target, and so I'm going to give you advantage on this shot.
Hell yeah. Yeah, he's doing like the thing. And, all right.
checking factoring in the rotation of the earth.
A little down, a little to the left. All right. Here we go. This is good. Okay, that's going to be a 19 to hit.
Great. So you pull the trigger back on your crossbow, and sure enough, it is a perfect shot. It goes right in above the exoskeleton, like the frame of the wing, which really sticks in there in a way that the moth creature is not able to pull away. And as you do that, the creature begins to flutter just like a moth when you touch it on your decks, and then it just kind of like panics and fluttering wings. And that's what you're seeing now, is just this panicked fluttering, again, complete silence as the creature just flutters and flaps.
Okay, do these guys see this at this point? Are they still just oblivious to the?
They are still completely oblivious because this is absolutely silent, and they are still looking down at the fire and the food.
This is your last chance. Do you want this rat? I will eat it if you do not.
Hey, dumbasses!
I don't have to tell you.
Hey, up here!
I
Severe.
don't have to tell you. We're having a conversation.
Uh,
I don't have to tell you. One more time, I do not want the rat right now.
Severe, would you
appreciate
please
it.
tell her she needs protein to grow strong?
Scarf, no one wants your fucking rats. Hey, look over there. There's a fucking Mothman pinned to the tree. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, do we see the Mothman now?
Oh yeah, it's wildly flapping. Like at this point, it is the opposite of stealth.
All right, Scarf
The
draws
only
his
thing that is
longsword.
complete absence of
Severe,
sound.
why didn't you tell us about that sooner?
A challenger will approach.
So
He's just like,
so
are you fucking kidding me? And then he started, yeah. Sorry.
So as you guys look at this, the wingspan on this thing's probably about 6 feet from upper tip to lower tip on the opposite side. It's got a fairly small body. Think about like a mid-sized dog. And again, the wings are about 6 feet diameter. So this is not a small moth creature, but this is not something you have seen before.
I'm going to start climbing down to join them.
I think Scarf is just going to charge at it.
You can
Large insect, you dare challenge me? I will take you on. He'll kind of charge and drop his longsword. He'll kind of hold it up in the pit, his armpit, almost like a lance.
like a lance, like he's jousting on foot.
And he's at the last minute, he's gonna run and just thrust it straight forward.
Michael, this creature is pinned firmly by the crossbow bolt to the tree. I will let you roll with advantage on your lance sword attack.
I got a 5 and a 15, so I'll go with the 15 plus
Okay.
5, so a dirty 20.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. All right, cool. So roll me some damage.
All right, that's 1d8 plus 3. Actually, if I was holding it in both hands when I thrust, that would be two-handed, right?
Yeah.
So that's my d10. Okay, 5 damage.
All right, cool. So because of the way this wing is pinned against the tree, you are able to charge straight up, and its legs are still facing towards the tree that it was previously holding onto. And so this is a straight up shot to the back. You charge straight at it and jam your longsword right into its back. And you're actually disappointed in how strong this insect's exoskeleton is. And again, the moth does not make a sound. There's no screech, there's no scream, there's just loud fluttering, and you have pushed the moth kind of back up against the tree, and now it is holding on to the tree and trying to get its legs up underneath itself, in between its body and the tree.
Haha, a worthy foe. You can take more than one hit from Scarf.
So Amari, what are you and Sphere doing right now as Scarf tries to impale the moth?
Now that Scarf is away from the fire and not really shoving the idea of the rat down my throat, I go up and take a little nibble of it while it's not looking. And I realize that it's actually really good, and so I just eat the whole thing. That's what I'm doing.
Sphere is actively climbing down the skull rock.
Yeah. Right at this moment, the moth gets its legs underneath it, and with all the force of its insect legs, and with this new sort of coordinated effort after having been pushed back onto the tree, it rips its wing off of the crossbow bolt. So the sort of the fabric of the wing tears apart, and it pushes off of the tree. And again, now there's a fluttering of wings, and it's kind of this disorganized movement. And Scarf all you see is wing everywhere as this creature that was right in front of you is able to turn, and it doesn't go far. It just turns and goes from the tree to you, and these hairy legs grab onto your armor and onto your shirt, and that's when you get a look at the underside of this insect, and what you see are these huge black multifocal eyes, right? So you see like fly eyes, and they're not round, they're like little flat. I want to say hexagonal, but it's way more pieces than that. And so this insect is obviously looking at the entire area around you at once, and it is grabbed onto you, and that's when you see its stylet. And this thing brings out a proboscis. It's its mouth, and it's like think of like a drinking straw, but the size of a short sword. Now, imagine it's not a drinking straw, it's a hypodermic needle. And it's keratinized exoskeleton, and it's got this vicious, wicked point at the end and a hollow tube through the middle. And this, I hate to break it to you, this moth just rolled a natural 20, and so he is going to stick that stylet right under your clavicle and into your chest from above your armor. And and you are going to take you are going to take 14 points of damage as this thing just skewers you and begins to drain your blood through the stylet and into its pulsing abdomen.
So Scarf, after declaring what a worthy foe it is, gets attacked by this moth, and in a fury of wings, I go down unconscious.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yes, at this point, what a worthy foe. And that's when the stylet goes through your clavicle into your left subclavian artery and starts sucking blood. His abdomen is pumping here. And when you look at this thing, it's like, when you look at a mosquito and you can see the blood filling its abdominal cavity, that's what you see. And this is actually, this abdomen is contracting and expanding as it pumps blood out of Scarf and into its abdomen.
As Scarf is going down, you just hear him say, "Ah, I see you too have brought a blade to the battle."
Hey everyone, this is Dustin Bays. I play Sphere, Bert, and Boot. I, along with my fellow cast members, Maddie Fuller, who's playing Amari, Roy, and Enid, Nate Oulette, who's playing Scarf, Jay Lachey, and Ma, and of course our amazing DM, Dr. Andy Roark, want to say thank you so much for checking out our podcast. We've been working so hard on this over the past few months and are beyond excited to finally be sharing this with you. If you want, you can listen to the first 3 episodes right now on your favorite podcasting app. And if you're thinking to yourself, man, I would love to watch a video version of this, well, great news. We are premiering those live on Facebook and YouTube. First episode's coming out August 31st. Second episode's coming out September 7th. And third episode is premiering September 14th, all at 7 p.m. Episode 4 will be released in audio and visual format September 21st. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at BragPod, that's BRAGPOD, and then find us on YouTube by searching Blue Ridge Adventurer'S Guild. Thank you, and now back to the show.
Ah, I see you too have brought a blade to the battle.
This is really fascinating.
Yeah, are you gonna,
Reminds me of back at the temple when they mummified people.
Yeah, do we want to help him, or we want to just leave him?
I mean, if he dies, he dies. It's up to you, really. I don't really care.
I mean, I don't really like the guy, but...
If you want to save him, I will save him. But if you don't, then I don't either.
I mean, this moth thing could come after us when it's done, or maybe it'll just go it. Well, let's just fucking kill this thing, and then if we can save him when it's all over, then we'll try and save him.
Alright, let's kill it then.
Alright, oh shit, don't tell him, I forgot to eat. I am gonna take a bite of this rat, though.
Hey, just eat the rest of this one, it was mine anyway.
Oh, you sure? You're not gonna eat the rest of that?
No, I ate my fill, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I was messing with him for a long time.
behind you, the abdomen of the
Yeah,
of the vampire moth expands and contracts.
yeah, I love Rat. It's just that dude just won't shut up sometimes. All right, here I get. All right, here we go. All right, I'm just gonna sprint over, and I'm like, they call this one the people's elbow, and I'm just gonna jump and go for like a flying elbow into. I'm assuming that he's prone.
Oh yeah, he's prone
Right.
with this greyhound, like this winged dog-sized insect, happily attached to his chest with a stylet stabbed through the lower part of his neck, and it's just having the best meal.
Boom. It's gonna be 12 to hit.
That actually does hit, yeah. As he's there on top of Scarf, and he's sort of fully attached, yeah. So a 12 with your flying elbow is gonna hit.
All right, so I'm a monk. I'm doing the monk class thing. So I get a second act. If I do unarmed strike, I can do
100%.
strike. So I like hit him, and then I'm just gonna do that thing where I stand up and then just do it again.
Just hit him again. All right, cool. So
Yeah.
so roll me damage on the first elbow.
Okay, roll damage. Sure.
So roll damage on the first elbow, and then you're gonna have to roll me another attack for the second elbow.
All right, roll them at the same time. First damage is gonna be max damage 8 for the first one, and then I rolled a 24 for the second one.
Oh yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say, so you drop the elbow on
Max damage
on
again.
the insect, and its little legs kind of go out from under it, and then you jump back up and you come back down, and as you come back down, you pinch this engorged abdomen between your elbow coming down on its back and Scarf's prone like thigh.
Oh, no.
And and you know the abdomen just ruptures and just blood goes everywhere. It is imagine the juiciest mosquito you have ever slapped times 1,000. That is like a pint of Scarf's blood explodes out of this vampire moth's abdomen, just soaking Scarf in his own blood.
Maddie is really grossed out, but Amari is very intrigued.
Amari, roll me a perception check.
I shall. That will be a total 19.
As you watch this spectacle of these two morons fighting with an insect, you see the forest behind them move. And not just in one place. You see the forest behind them start to move. And as you look, it all goes back to normal. But having seen this moth, you know that it was not alone, and more are coming.
Hey, I don't really care what you do because I hate you, but I think there are a lot more of those things out there, and now they're going to be really mad because we killed one of their friends. So get that thing off of him. Get it off of him. Just like get it off of him so I can heal him. Then you pick him up, and we will go.
And as you're talking, the fire, which has largely been embers, starts to rise up and increase in intensity, and the fire just comes back, and the flames just kind of dance up. It's not a big fire, but when you think about the fact it was just embers a moment ago, and now it's probably 16 inches or so high. It's as high as a human head. It was like, and sure enough, the flames come up, and they sort of take this face of this kind of bald head with like orcish features, very thick features. It's not an orc, but it feels very orcish. That's the best way that you can kind of get your head around what this image is, and it's also flickering and dancing, so it's not concrete. It's no one that you know. It's nothing that you've seen before. It's not a species you can go, yes, that's an orc. It's not anything that you've seen, but the head comes up and sort of takes shape, and in your mind, Amari, you hear this deep voice, and it says, The cataclysm is coming. You must not be taken. And as you hear this voice inside your head, right beside you at the shattered skull, you hear this crack as if a dry tree is being torn in half. And as you hear this noise, you look, and sure enough, the pieces of the shattered skull, it's as if an invisible giant at the top has grabbed both sides of the shattered skull and is tearing them apart, because the skull crack widens, and as it widens, you see a cavern beneath that is now exposed.
So
I'm starting to pull the moth off, I guess. I'm just doing what she told me to do.
So did you see that? Did you see that, my future condo that just got destroyed?
I'm assuming I heard that, right, Andy?
You definitely heard the crack, and honestly, based on your previous perceptions, out of the corner of your eye, you have also seen movement, and not in one place.
So
yep,
maybe we should go.
Very much saw that. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Okay, so before we start, are we gonna go to the new place that this earthquake revealed? Are we gonna go?
I don't care where we go. Let's just go.
So I think logically, I think we should go that way. I mean, there was a message in the fire, and then that should happen. I think it's a message maybe from my god. I don't fucking know. Let's go that way. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on Scarf. So I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds. So that is gonna be a total of 6 health back to you.
Haha, it takes more than an insect to down the mighty Scarf.
Let's go.
See as I am covered in his blood.
Since Amari first saw movement in the forest, the wave has moved about 25% of the distance towards you guys. You're probably looking at it 120 to 150 feet from where you see multiple of these vampire moths flitting to trees. And again, they're hard to count and they're hard to see because they just seem to disappear. But the distance between them and you is steadily closing.
Okay. Hey, dum-dum, there's a lot more of those things out there. Let's go. Don't try to fight them. Well, honestly, I don't care, but we're leaving.
We're going there, up there, to that new place. You missed it. You were dead, but I brought you back. But it's up there, so just go there. Okay?
I am not running because I am afraid. I am running because I seek challenges ahead of me.
I mean, I won't tell anyone you're afraid. It's natural to be afraid.
Scarf has no fears.
Whatever, let's...
I'm running because I am very afraid right now, so... Let's go, please. And I'm just going to start taking off again.
I'll take off after you.
Yeah.
So you guys are heading into the...
tall, though, so it's more like a brisk walk.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, can I scoop him up and just kind of like...
So yeah, absolutely. So Scarf, you sweep up Sphere, and you guys are heading for the cavern. As you see the moths seem to be losing interest in stealth and moving quicker. They're still going tree to tree, which seems to be their innate movement pattern, but they seem much less interested in you not seeing them as they advance towards you. And so you guys, Scarf with Sphere in your arms, and Amari, who's going first into the crack that has now been opened up in the Shattered Skull?
I mean, I assume I am running as fast as possibly as I possibly can, and I'm not carrying anyone, so I assume I'm running faster than them.
Yeah, exactly. So you duck down into this into the cavern that you see. It's a hole. It's probably about 4 feet in diameter that has opened up, and most of the crack is still full. It's just rocks, it's just dirt, but there is this blackness, this cavern underneath. And as you dip down and look in, your dark vision adjusts very quickly to the light of the morning that's streaming into this cavern. And roll me an investigation check really quickly, please.
Everyone?
No, just Amari.
Okay.
I rolled a 10.
Perfect. All right, cool. So as you duck into this room, Amari, this was not a passageway that previously existed. As the skull was torn apart, however, it did expose the corner of a room that was submerged under the ground. And so as you duck into this, you are actually ducking under a wall and coming out of the corner of what is some sort of a catacomb, dungeon, labyrinth, some sort of submerged area. You look around and you see stone walls and floor. There's no evidence of light. Obviously just thick dust and dirt. There's it's hard to even see to the back just because the tearing open of the wall has stirred up so much dust and debris that is obviously laid there for thousands of years. You cough as you go in, but you look around. You do see boulders. You see sort of shattered statues that have fallen over. The one right next to you, you're really too close to kind of make it out. It's some sort of a robed figure of a statue, probably 12 feet tall, that's fallen over at some point. It's broken at just below the knees. It's broken around the abdomen, and the head is broken off. So you've got these big pieces of stone that are there, as well as some boulders and some things that have kind of fallen in when the area was torn open. You can't, because of the dust and the dirt, you really can't see. You don't know if this is a single room, if this is some sort of a cellar, if this is a passageway leading deep. You're too disoriented going in to make a clear plan.
Okay. Am I allowed to do one thing?
Sure.
Since I cannot really see that well based off of just relying on my dark vision, I would really like to cast light on my shield and sort of look around, and also kind of guide the other two down where I am. Like, hey, I'm here. Speaking. This is where I am.
Perfect. So, Scarf, as you come around the corner, Severe in your arms, you weren't sitting where Amari was. And so you heard the crack and you saw the stone shift and you saw her dart towards this crack. But the idea that there's an opening into the earth is news to you. And so you dip around the corner just in time. You see this, again, is probably 3 to 4 foot opening in the ground. It's probably 24 inches wide. It's enough for you to kind of turn sideways and try to duck into. And right as you see this black hole, all of a sudden it just illuminates and you see sort of a dim golden light inside. And you know that this is where Amari has gone, and you can see that she has moved out of the way. And so that space is clear for you to move into.
Amari, I shall follow.
Okay.
You can, can you put me down now?
Yes.
I don't have any ego. There's no shame in this. It's just,
we would be too wide to fit.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry.
So, Scarf and Sphere, you guys both enter into the room. And so roll me some investigation checks.
Ooh.
15 for me. For
damn.
Sphere.
I rolled a 17 minus 1, so that's a 16 for me.
Great. So as you guys enter in, because Amari has cast light on her shield, you look around, and there's still just swirling dust in the air. But the two of you, especially Sphere as a gnome, as a deep gnome, you quickly read the room pretty well. And this is some sort of an underground a prep area for a temple or a ceremony area is what it seems to you. So, and I say that as you come in, there are statues, but they're fairly modest statues. There are it looks like mostly humanoids in priestly garbs. There are some that are sort of very half orc features. In priestly garb. Those are the statues kind of around this relatively small room. It's probably 15 by 20 feet in diameter. You've just crashed in through the corner, stirring up all the dust. Large stones. They're almost like like short altars, but they're about knee-high stone. They're about 6 feet tall and 3 feet wide. Plateaus, like very low tables that rise up out of the floor. They were probably some sort of a base for something that was larger, possibly made of wood, something that deteriorated 500, 600 years ago. But you do see a stone archway at the opposite end of the room, and so that would be the west wall, and then on the north wall you see another entryway. Both of them complete blackness beyond. And that is those are the rooms that you're looking in. They do not have any doors on them. They are open archways, and that is the space that the three of you are standing in.
Okay. First gut reaction, based off of the moth that I pulled off of Scarf, do I think that they can fit through the gap that we came through?
Yes. So the answer is yes, they can definitely, as like probably single file, they could fit through the gap. It's not a gaping hole that they'll pour into, but as it stands now, absolutely.
Guys, let's seal the room. We gotta seal the room. They're coming.
Yes, I was thinking about maybe finding a door out of here and then closing that door behind us. That's the best possible thing we can do.
I don't really see any doors, but I think, not gonna lie, I'm super excited. I think this is one of those caverns where they like store treasure and shit that everyone's been talking about, and we found one first, guys. Like, this is it. We're gonna get fucking rich.
Severe. Help me move this stone. And Scarf is going to go over to like the biggest piece of the stone statue and try to just bare hands lift it to block the way.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm gonna be a big help for that, but whatever. I'll do my part.
All right, roll me a straight up strength athletics check all the way. There's no acrobatics on this one.
Oh, no, that's understandable.
Sphere is gonna try to give him the help action, but like narratively, I think he still doesn't get advantage.
Oof. Do I get advantage or no?
Oh, no.
Then I rolled a nat 1.
No. You go, let's do it. It's go time. And then absolutely nothing happens. Outside,
this stone is a mighty foe. I must train to defeat it.
Outside, shadows flit across the sunlight coming into the hole.
Fuck. So let me if I were to break this statue somehow, would it fall and cover the hole?
Yeah, there's definitely, yes. There are enough sort of statues around, and you don't have to cover the whole thing. A fairly good placed statue falling over from one of the ones near the door that's still standing would absolutely work. I think that some sort of lever or rolling of the statue that is down, if you could somehow roll it up into the way and wedge it, that would work. So I think you have a variety of options of utilizing the statues or even just trying to toss the boulders back into the way and somehow securing them. I think you've got a number of options and ways you can try to seal up this hole.
Okay, so I've decided I do not want to die by vampire moth.
Yeah.
I will help.
Thanks for joining the team.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Let's just do what that voice said. Hey, Dum-Dum, can you take your greatsword and, like, roll that block in front of the door? Or in front of that hole?
I used to push boulders back when I was a child. I can push boulders with ease now.
I don't believe you. Let me see it.
I don't feel like doing it now because you said that you can do it by yourself. I don't feel like helping. But I still will. I just... I want to see you do it by yourself first because you're so confident.
Scarf is going to go and try and roll this boulder.
So, Scarf, as you duck down, lift with your legs, not with your back, excellent lifting posture.
I've been trained properly. OSHA would be
behind
proud.
this large boulder. Yeah, exactly. Perfect lifting technique. You shoulders back, head up, eyes forward. You're looking directly out the hole, and you see one of the vampire moths just come straight down, thunk, onto the ground, probably 12 feet away from you. And its huge insectoid eyes just just seem to be enjoying the view of you trying to put this boulder into the way. And so
My
roll
old nemesis, you return.
So roll.
It's not. I don't think it's the same one, Scuff.
He has returned from death to fight me again, just as I have returned from death.
No, I think it's. You know what? I don't. Never mind. He's gonna. I don't think it's worth it.
I will show him. I got a 19 plus 5.
Oh, so
24.
With that you go ah! and like seeing the moth come down. You it's not fear. It's 100% like dick measuring contest. Like, "Ah!" And you roll this enormous boulder, and it just flips over about twice and just lays. I mean, just perfectly right against the opening, leaving probably sort of 4-inch tall triangle that you can look out to, and you see the moth, and all of a sudden it just and just in the speed of lightning. It's like the way it flips from one tree to another. All of a sudden, pow! And this insectoid eye is right up against that hole. You can see about 50 reflections of your face, all in the faint blue and gold light of Amari's light spell from her shield, as this vampire moth presses its eye against and is trying to kind of wheedle its head through that space.
My nemesis, now you see in your mind's eye and your head's eye what a true champion can look like.
He really does think he's poetic, doesn't
He just fucking loves himself, doesn't he? Jesus.
I don't even think that's how you could really put it. He's just an enigma.
Yeah, I don't. If I didn't just watch that dude die by a bug, I might actually be impressed.
Yeah.
So there is still a moth in here with us, correct?
No.
No.
It's on the outside with its eye pressed up the opening, like clearly looking at all three of you.
I am going to point at that eyeball.
Yeah.
That really nasty, fucking faceted eyeball. And I'm going to scare it and sort of cast Word of Radiance on it.
Okay, so you're going to cast Word of Radiance? All right, perfect. So,
yeah, I'm going to just kind of make it go away.
Is that a saving throw, or is that a...
It is a Constitution saving throw for the vampire mothy man from New Jersey.
Yeah, cool. It's got a Constitution save of 11.
11? Okay, so that fails because my save is 12.
All right, perfect. Woo!
Excellent.
So I'm going to...
So tell me what happens as you drive this effect away.
So I have to utter a divine word, and my divine word is die. And I just point at it and I say die, and then this really beautiful ray of light just shines through and just goes towards the stupid little vampire moth from New Jersey. And it inflicts 4 radiant damage on that nasty eyeball.
Does it make like that bug zapper noise?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Zipow! And so the eye immediately disappears, and you see sunlight, and then all of a sudden 2 of those stylets from different angles come darting through the hole, as if they were hoping that you would come to look out at your handiwork. And then there's you start to hear motion as multiple little insectoid feet move around the hole. None of them put their faces down right there again, but you clearly hear them moving and shuffling around the triangle opening, and that pathway seems quite sealed to you.
Is anyone else really itchy?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
God, I can't stand it. I hate.
All right.
Oh.
Well, I think we're good for now, but
Right.
I think I think there might be some money down here. This is like a religious thing. When I was up top, I saw an altar, kind of like this, actually. Was it kind of like this? I'm guessing the altar I saw on top.
It was kind of like this. It was taller, but yes, it very similar. Some of the sort of design work around the outsides, along the edges, looked very similar. Very similar theme of sort of a it's almost like hourglasses, like those shapes back to back to back that wrap around. And so that's sort of a pattern that wraps around, and then embedded into the sides that are these ovals that almost look like they look like mirrors, is like a sort of a mirror on the wall. But that's part of the power. It's like hourglass, mirror, mirror, as it kind of wraps around. But that's exactly the same pattern that you saw on the altar stone that had been up on top of the shattered skull.
But now that I have like a better look and the dust has settled and we aren't, going to be sucked dry by vampire bats from New Jersey, but not bats, moths. Can I do a religion check on the altars to see if I recognize any of the symbols or anything?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
And I'm gonna take out my notebook and just jot the symbols down themselves, so I have like a record of what they look like.
I got a total 16.
So you get you kneel down beside these two tables, like they're almost like coffee table. If an altar was a coffee table, like I don't know, maybe a cult has like a studio apartment. They're trying to save space. That's kind of what this looks like. And
they went to Charlotte to the
it has one of those lip tops.
Oh,
so you can make the altar a little bit higher.
Oh yeah,
when you need to.
That's exactly it. They have there's like milk crates that can go underneath it to just bring it up. As you get down and look at this, you definitely believe these are religious symbols. That's very clear to you. This is not. It doesn't look to be arcane magic. It very much seems to be religious scripture symbols. So the altar itself very much seems to serve a religious purpose. But even though your depth of knowledge is impressive, Amari, this is nothing that you've seen before. And so the knowledge that you come away with here after this sort of religion check and investigation is this is a religion that far predates anything that you have seen. So you're certain that this is religious in nature, and absolutely certain as well that this is not one of your standard religions that is being practiced today. This is a dead religion.
So
this is really important.
Yeah, does this look familiar to you? Is this Anubis stuff or something?
This is Anubis.
Sorry, Anubis.
Scarf is gonna look over the statues and kind of, whatever religion. Oh, wrong voice. I did your voice for a second. Whatever religion this must be, must make everyone so tall. Look at the size of the statues they made of the people. It must make great warriors.
Anyway, so it's a
God.
dead religion. I've never seen anything of it. I've never read anything that gives me any indication that there's anything documented about this at all.
Okay,
so I think we are discovering something brand spanking newborn baby new. But it's also old.
Like,
very old. Yeah. But, like, it's new.
Yeah. Well, maybe, I mean, I think there's got to be someone in Cinder that, like, knows some history of the air. Maybe there has to be someone who knows something about this. But, and when you say dead religion, you mean, like, it's not like you, where it's like a religion about the dead, right? Like,
oh, that would make me very happy.
Okay.
But it's not. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, it's been lost.
Well, let's see if we can loot the shit out of this place, and then we'll and then we'll like do the right thing and like go tell someone who can like uncover all its mysteries and all the knowledge and stuff.
But what if they like? What if they don't know anything about it, and then they have to name it after somebody, and then they name it after this stupid little nerd that we tell about it? That's not very fun. Why don't we just keep it to ourselves?
Yeah, but how are we gonna get famous?
But they're gonna get famous. We'll just have all the money from this place. It doesn't really make sense either way. So just keep all of it, and then go somewhere and be like, we discovered this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, well, either way, we're getting paid.
Out of it.
Yeah, hold on, speaking of leaving people out, hey, are you done talking to those statues, or are you going to come with us?
So, Scarf, you're walking around in this room as Sphere and Amari are talking, and you're really interested in these statues, actually. As you look at them, they are robed statues. And so the statues do seem quite similar, and there's not a lot of them in this room. You can see them extending out of the northern hallway, which is a little bit smaller. The western hallway seems to open up into a large, dark space. But around this room and down that hallway, as you walk, the first statue you come to is an elven figure that you're quite familiar with. You go, oh. This looks like an elven priest, and then there is you see a human figure, and as you sort of move on around, you see another figure, and this figure is not one that you've seen. It's it looks like some sort of a tortured human. And as a human, I use it loosely. The eyes are different. They're broader. They're almost like diamond shaped. There's pocking of the skin. And granted, this is a stone statue, but they were clearly intentional. This being doesn't have skin in the way that you would expect. And as you glance down the northern hallway, you see almost like a demon face. It's not what Amari saw in the flames, but it is not of any species that you have seen before. And all of these beings are statues shrouded in similar plain garb. It's just, obviously they're in robes, like priestly robes. And as you look down the hall, you can even see variation in thickness and height, especially in height of these beings. One silhouette down the hall seems to be about 2 feet tall compared to the others. And so there's a wide variety of species of humanoids here. Some that you are very familiar with, and some that look like fairy tale, and some that look like nightmare.
I think Scarf is going to keep walking down, just kind of checking out each one, and just kind of get a good feel. You said there's a demon at the end of the hall?
It's down the hallway, down the northern smaller hallway. But you are leaving the light of Amari's shield behind you, and your instincts start to kick in as you step into the hall, into the northern hall, and just the echo is something about it, in the fact that this is a sacred place, and it's a place that no one has been in thousands of years.
I think I'm going to draw my sword just out of, instincts.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like just do like the slow backing around and looking, but still make my way. I want to see all the statues and kind of just keep walking down the hall.
So as Scarf draws his sword and starts to move down the northern hallway, the more narrow of the two openings, Amari and Sphere, what are you doing?
I feel like that's probably about the time I turn around and go, hey, you looking at the statues, or are we gonna... Hey, where'd he go? Hey!
Just leave.
We're going to leave your party there.
Hey guys, Dustin Bays again. That's going to be it for episode 1. You can listen to episode 2 right now on your favorite podcasting app. Episode 2, we start over with a new adventuring party that we call the Normies. They're a bunch of essentially level 0 humans that are having to discover what their superpowers are as they're introduced to this world. If you want to watch episode 1 in video format, you can do so on YouTube and Facebook. It'll be premiered live on August 31st at 7 p.m. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at BragPod. That's BRAGPOD. And you can find us on YouTube by searching Blue Ridge Adventurer'S Guild. You can find our cast members, Maddie Fuller, on Twitter and Instagram at MLadvey. That's MLADVEY. You can find Nate Oulette on Twitter at Omeletsky26. That's OmeletSky26. You can find myself, Dustin Bays, on Instagram at DTBays. And you can find our amazing DM on Facebook and Twitter at Dr. Andy Roark. And you can listen to his podcast, Cone of Shame, on YouTube and wherever you find podcasts. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.